Before watching the video, do subscribe my channel and hit the bell notification icon to get the instant updates. Enzymes in simple language are biocatalysts. They are the catalyst responsible for speeding up the biological reactions. Okay? There are many enzymes, and enzymes are having the nomenclature which ends with the suffix ase. ASE, जैसे zymes, diastase, sucrase, maltase and so on. ठीक है? Now enzymes जो है, it works on the lock and key mechanism. मतलब a substrate will have a specific enzyme and it will have a specific property. That is why we say it works on the lock and key mechanism. ठीक है? अब एक सीक्वेंस इंपॉर्टेंट है जो एंजाइम्स के रिलेटेड याद रखना है. दैट इज द ब्रेकडाउन ऑफ सुक्रोज. When we intake sucrose, our body enzyme breaks down into the simpler components which is easy to digest. Because sucrose जो है वो डाइसैकेराइड है, तो उसको ब्रेक डाउन करके सिंपलर यूनिट्स में एंजाइम तोड़ता है. ठीक है? अब सुक्रोज इज ब्रोकन डाउन विद द हेल्प ऑफ डाइएस्टेस and it is broken down into a new disaccharide, that is maltose. Maltose is broken down into a monosaccharide glucose, and we know that maltose gives you 2 units of alpha glucose, and this breakdown is done with the help of maltase. Then the glucose as a monosaccharide is broken down further by zymase into the simpler component of ethyl alcohol and carbon dioxide. And that's how the energy would be released from the carbohydrates. They are all enzymes which are speeding up the biological processes. So ये पूरा क्या है? ब्रेकडाउन है. सुक्रोज से माल्टोज, डाई टू डाइसैकेराइड, फिर डाई टू मोनोसैकेराइड और मोनोसैकेराइड इनटू द सिंपलर कंपोनेंट C2H5OH and CO2. Let's start with vitamins. Now going back to the history of vitamins, they are the nutrients which are essential for the growth and development, maintenance. So growth and maintenance के लिए vitamins are required, but they are required in smaller quantities. ठीक है? अगर एक्सेस लेंगे तो उसमें 2 टाइप के विटामिन्स का क्लासिफिकेशन है, जिसमें देयर कैन बी अ प्रॉब्लम विद वन ऑफ देम, देयर विल नॉट बी अ प्रॉब्लम विद दी अदर कैटेगरी. ठीक है? फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल, गोइंग बैक टू द हिस्ट्री, विटामिन्स आर दोज बायोमोलिक्यूल्स और न्यूट्रिएंट्स which were actually found to have the amino group in the structure, and since they were important for the body, they were named as vital amines. But later on, जैसे जैसे अलग अलग vitamins discover हुए, it was found that all of those do not have the amine group in the structure, and that is why the E of the amine was dropped, and then it was named as vital amine, and then उसको short करके vitamins बोला गया था. ठीक है? So vital amines are basically those nutrients which are vital or important for the growth and maintenance. ठीक है? Which is required in smaller quantities. Secondly, vitamins are classified into 2 categories based on the solubility, and they are famously fat soluble vitamins and water soluble vitamins. Which are fat soluble? Fat soluble vitamins A, D, E, K होते हैं. वाटर सोल्यूबल में B और C होते हैं. A, D, E, K are fat soluble and B and C are water soluble vitamins. The vitamins also have the subgroups which are named with the numbers. जैसे B के लिए we have lot of the subgroups as B1, B2 up till B12. विटामिन D में भी D3, D4 करके क्लासिफिकेशन है, सबग्रुप है, जिसका अलग अलग प्रॉपर्टीज है. ठीक है? तो फैट सोल्यूबल विटामिन्स अगर एक्सेस हो जाते हैं तो व्हाट वुड हैपन? दे विल बी स्टोर्ड इन द फॉर्म ऑफ द फैट, ड्यू टू विच उसके एक्सेस क्वांटिटी से प्रॉब्लम हो सकता है. बट इफ द वाटर सोल्यूबल विटामिन्स आर इंटेकन इन एक्सेस, दे विल बी एक्सक्रीटेड. टेबल दिया हुआ है, उसमें विटामिन का नेम, द सोर्सेज एंड डेफिशिएंसीज आर गिवन. सो इफ द विटामिन इज इन less quantity, then those deficiency can cause diseases. Now
vitamin C overdose.
हाँ,
You can die of vitamin C overdose.
स्कर्वी होता है और उससे
You can directly die of vitamin C overdose.
है, उसके डिजीजेज हैं.
Maybe
लेकिन
that.
We have vitamin D6 also.
हाँ, डी और बी के काफ़ी सारे सब ग्रुप्स होते हैं. ओके, द फर्स्ट विटामिन इज नेम्ड एज विटामिन ए. द कमर्शियल नेम टू विटामिन ए इज रेटिनॉल एंड ऑब्वियसली शुड बी नोन, important for eyes, related with retina. Vitamin B में B1 is named as thiamine. Vitamin B2 is riboflavin.
For the hair.
B6 is pyridoxine. ठीक है, ये तीनों दिया हुआ है. pyridoxine. Vitamin B12 जो है, it is called cobalamin because it is the vitamin having cobalt in it. So cobalamin बोलते हैं. Vitamin C is ascorbic acid given. Vitamin D important for bones and that's why it's called calciferol. इसके टैबलेट्स भी इसी नाम से आते हैं, calciferol. Vitamin E is called tocopherol. Tocopherol. And vitamin K is called phylloquinone, having a ketonic group. About nucleic acids. So nucleic acids are those biomolecules which are formed in the nucleus of the cell, and we have two types of nucleic acids, that's DNA and RNA, which stands for deoxyribonucleic acid and ribonucleic acid, and these are responsible for passing on the genetic information or hereditary characteristics. ठीक है? Now talking about the structure of nucleic acid. The first thing, nucleic acid is a polymer of nucleotide. Nucleic acid is a polymer of nucleotide. So nucleotide basically becomes a monomer of the nucleic acid, and this will be repeated n times to give a polynucleotide, which is nothing but nucleic acid. So that's why nucleic acids are alternately also referred as polynucleotide. Polynucleotide. Now coming to the structure of the monomer, that is nucleotide. Each nucleotide is made up of three parts. One is base, second is sugar, and third is phosphate. It's made up of base, sugar and phosphate group. Okay? The base which is present in the nucleotide is a nitrogenous base. The base is nitrogenous. Now when we talk about the base, even this are classified into two types. One is purine base and other is pyrimidines. Purines and pyrimidines. Now in purines we have two bases, that is adenine and guanine. Adenine and guanine. And in pyrimidines we have three bases, which is cytosine, uracil and thymine. Cytosine, uracil and thymine. Okay, so purines can be remembered as Ag and pyrimidines can be remembered as cut, referring to cytosine, uracil and thymine. So first part, a nucleotide is made up of a nitrogenous base, and these nitrogenous bases are classified into purines and pyrimidines, and these purines have two of the bases, adenine, guanine, and pyrimidines have the cytosine, uracil and thymine. Next, the sugar which is present in the nucleotide is a ribose sugar. Now ribose sugar is with how many carbons? It's a 5 carbon sugar, meaning pentose. Okay, so it is basically aldopentose, and that aldopentose, if we write in the cyclic form, then the structure of this will be represented in the furan form, similar to the fructose ka ring. Okay, a 5-membered ring with the oxygen inside the ring. Okay, now the sugar which is actually present in the anomer form is beta, and the second last carbon ka OH is on the right, so it is D, and the sugar is ribose, hence it is beta D ribose. Now to get the structure of beta D ribose, the first thing, beta means up. Alpha means right down trans. So beta will have the OH on the first carbon on the top side. Okay, so this will have H. Second carbon is simply H, OH. Third is H, OH. And the last carbon, since it is an aldose, would have C, H2OH and H. Clear? Now this is basically the pentose sugar which is found in RNA. It's RNA sugar. In case of DNA, the word itself makes you understand that deoxyribonucleic acid, meaning the sugar is basically deoxyribose. And when we say deoxyribose, it is actually represented as 2-beta-deoxyribose. Now this 2 indicates that the oxygen is being lost from the second carbon. So it's a similar sugar, but just on the second carbon you don't have oxygen, you just have H and H. So the structure for DNA of the sugar would be similar to the ribose sugar. Just on the second carbon you have H and H. This is the main difference in the RNA and DNA sugar. Okay, rest everything remains the same. Beta hai to OH on the top side. Then third will have HOH. Fourth will have CH2OH with H. So that's about the sugar part. Okay. In bases, when we talk about the DNA bases, DNA consists of 4 bases out of this. And the bases are A, G, C, T. That is adenine, guanine, cytosine and thymine. And RNA consists of 4 bases again, wherein 3 of the bases are retained from DNA with 1 difference in the 4th base. And they are adenine, guanine, cytosine remains the same, just the difference is thymine ki jagah uracil. Thymine ki jagah uracil. Clear? So I have discussed about the base. The nitrogenous bases in DNA consist of A, G, C, T, and RNA bases consist of A, G, C similar. Just T is replaced by U, that is uracil. Clear? About the sugar, the ribose sugar is the general part of a nucleotide. If there is simply beta D ribose, it's RNA ka sugar, and 2-deoxyribose indicates the DNA sugar. Okay? The third part of the nucleotide is a phosphate group, and phosphate is nothing but PO4 3 minus. Phosphate is PO4 3 minus. Okay? Now if we club this base, sugar and phosphate, we will get one unit which is a nucleotide, and then that nucleotide we repeat n times, we will get a polynucleotide, that is nothing but the nucleic acid, which can be DNA or RNA. Okay? Now talking about the structural details, first of all the nucleotide consists of this base sugar phosphate. Base को लिखते हैं. I'll talk about the DNA structure first. So DNA का structure के लिए sugar कौन सा रहेगा? Pentose, but it will be beta deoxyribose. Structure बनाने के लिए simple है. Beta मतलब OH on the top, यहाँ पे H. Second carbon now will have H with H. H with H. Third, fourth is similar, H, OH and CH2OH with H. Okay? Now, in the nucleotide, the base is present at the first carbon. Matlab, just remove the OH from the sugar and replace it by the nitrogenous base. You get this base sugar unit. This base sugar unit is basically named as nucleoside. Nucleoside. And now to the nucleoside, if you add a phosphate group, it will become a nucleotide. So a nucleotide is a combination of BSP, base sugar phosphate. Just base and sugar will give you a unit called nucleoside. Just the difference in the letter S. Okay? So this basically unit is a nucleoside. I'll just draw the unit of a nucleotide. The nucleotide ka phosphate group is basically present at the carbon number 5. This is first carbon, this is second, third, fourth and fifth. ठीक है. अब यहाँ पे I'll just draw this again. वहाँ पे जगह नहीं है. 1 2 3 4. This is OH with H, then H with H, H with OH, and CH2OH with H. ठीक है. So if I introduce a base, I get a nucleoside. So remember, base is at the first carbon atom. And now the phosphate in the nucleotide is present at the 5th carbon of the ribose or the deoxyribose sugar. Now on to the 5th carbon, you just remove this H and introduce the phosphate group, which is P, like this. This entire actually becomes the PO4 3 minus group. Okay? And this O will have the negative charges which can be satisfied by the cations. Clear? So this single unit is a unit of nucleotide. Okay? Now to this nucleotide, if I add one more nucleotide, it will become a dinucleotide. And these two dinucleotides are actually joined by a linkage called phosphodiester linkage. It's linked by phosphodiester linkage. Okay? Now why phosphodiester linkage? Because it is similar to the ester function group. How do we represent ester? RCOOR dash, that's C double bond OO. यहाँ पे we have P double bond OO linkage which joins the two nucleotides. ठीक है? The joining of the two nucleotides is at 3rd carbon of the first unit and 5th carbon of the second unit. So the linkage which is developed over here can be called as 3,5 phosphodiester linkage. 3rd carbon of the first unit will be joined with 5th carbon, meaning CH2OH wala carbon of the second unit, giving you a phosphodiester linkage. Is this clear? Now DNA RNA structure was actually developed by Watson and Crick. ठीक है? Now DNA RNA में एक basic फर्क है. DNA structure is double helical structure. DNA is double helical structure, double helix, and RNA is a single helix structure. Single helix structure. ठीक है? In case of DNA, the double helical structure have the intermolecular forces of attraction between the bases, and basically the interactions is between adenine guanine and cytosine thymine. So we have the bonds as AG and CT, AG and CT, which bonds them and gives you the double helical structure.